It dawned on her that this being who had called her his lover had summoned her, imprisoned her, fed, primed, and prepped to be the bearer of his fruit and the embodiment of his cruel desires. Ever with child from poisonous penetration, induced with viral injections, prisoner and slave to unjust marital legislation, body owned by cultural dictation.
When poet Curmiah Lisette St. Catherine performed at the Blues Session by Headfunk, we did not realize that a few days later she'd be walking the catwalk at Haute Couture. And when we met her at Haute Couture, she was preparing for a contest in the UK. And as we script this, we've been informed that she is the recipient of the award for Outstanding Youth in Literary Arts and for Outstanding Youth in the Performing Arts from this year's National Youth Awards. So let us get to our conversation with Curmiah at Haute Couture.
Okay, so my name is Curmiah Lisette St. Catherine, and the name of I worked with Fiona Compton, designer. I modeled for Arlene as well as Queen Esther, and as well as Yanis.
Curmiah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Curmiah Lisette. I am a model, a spoken word artist as well, spoken word poet, as well as a dancer. So in the UK, I do poetry and I model. I actually have 2 poems dedicated to St. Lucia. I released one last year for Independence and this year for Independence. They're on YouTube, so everybody can check them out. It's Curmiah Lisette. Spoken word, modeling poetry. I'm taking part in a competition in the UK at the end of this month called Top Model of Color. It's Mahogany Models. It's the leading black agency for models out there. So they're hosting a competition. They have international models flying in for the competition. And I'm representing St. Lucia. So
We're excited to hear about this.
very excited. After doing this, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go back and show them.
You mentioned poetry and the independence thing. Were you also at the Blues Session as well?
Yes.
Oh, that's you. Okay, there we. So we have you on tape as well. Let's talk a little bit about that independence poetry that you did. Can you give us a couple of lines from it? I know it's on YouTube, but can you give us a very special rendition of it, at least a couple of lines of it?
I'll give you the beginning. So, Lemon marimwe, ki place so titifi. For me, a bagay mwe ka weapon, so I say, je saintly see. Then they ask, no, what ends you repping? What's your postcode? I exhale, and with a sunshine smile, I simply reply that I do not rep ends or postcode. I represent an island, a place that I call home. And if you're asking me for my area code, it's 758. If you're asking me the precise geographical location of where I'm from, I'll tell you that my home lies amid the Atlantic Ocean and the Caribbean Sea. 238 square miles of picturesque scenery. She is known as the Helen of the West Indies and shapes every atom of my identity.
You have us wanting more, so let's hear a little bit of the second one.
In love with an island. Come away with me on an island love story. Journey into the beginning. To the days prior to the ABCs, the 1, 2, 3s, the thank yous and pleases and daily manly greetings. See, it started with the first breath, first touch, first sight, first sound, first taste. It started with not what was taught or learnt, but that which was already innate to me. See, human nature is so great that our senses naturally correlate to the soils that nurture, and the breeze that bears life too and tickles the swaying trees from which we receive breath. Yes.
We will keep track of the multi-talented Curmiah and continue our conversation with her. Next, we chat with Richard Ambrose, dancer extraordinary, actor, and cultural enthusiast. He was one of the models at Haute Couture. We started talking about the experience. Richard, first of all, congratulations on the event here this evening. It's over. How relieved are you now?
Relieved. I'm glad that such an activity has taken place because I think it makes a mark and it speaks for itself in terms of other levels of the creative arts and the industry and the allowing St. Lucians and St. Lucia to see what it can do and to go its full potential in terms of marketing, creativity, productivity. We had some wonderful showing of art and artists and business in the works of people like Fiona Compton here and other established dressmakers, designers, and just fashion people like Thelma Williams, who've been around a while, and Shazzy Shalom and Perry Marshall. So I think I'm glad the activity has come off and it has been a success, so that what we're speaking to in terms of the arts industry, that is now clearer to the entire populace.
We'll get to that in a little bit, but let's talk about the experience for you as well. I don't know if you took part in the last one, no?
No.
Okay, so
I wasn't.
This is your first major?
This is my first haute couture, but it's not my first time working with Richard Young. I've known him for quite a few years. We met through Russell Lake, and I've always been impressed by his scientific approach to what he calls fashion performance, which is just not modeling. His aesthetic based on Caribbean gesture, on theater, on dance, and trying to showcase us, our clothing, the way we behave, the way we perform. I think it's marvelous. I think he's a genius, and the Caribbean needs more people like that.
Richard Ambrose is a man of many talents, and you will see a lot more of him on Calabash TV. And that is how we end our program for today. Lisa Joseph will be back next week with Calabash Community. I am Bernard Fanis reminding you to please like our Facebook page and check out our YouTube channel for CTV programs.